had to turn the microphones on. I'll say again. Well, we are back.
We're back.
Anyone who knows what that little reference there? Anybody who knows how another streamer, not in the fish community, starts their streams that way, I will be very impressed. Anybody who knows. How is everybody doing? Little disheveled here tonight as usual. But before we get started with all of the good festivities, I want to apologize for only me being in the thumbnail.
It's okay. You didn't know. I'm not supposed to be here, but there's this difficult baby not trying to be born, so I'm here.
Up until an hour ago, she was saying she doesn't want to be on it, and then now she did want to be on it.
Well, I wasn't supposed to be on it because I had said last week I probably wouldn't be here. Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah, there you go.
So I decided, you know what? I'm going to be on the stream, whether you like it or not.
And that's good because I was going to struggle a bit tonight on my own. So I'm glad that she's here. Listen, folks, before we get into all of the good stuff here tonight, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor to ever be put on film. We were just talking about Rosie. Maybe get an opportunity to go see him in a few months. Who knows? But
because we got a heads up from somebody in Tank Talk that he was going to be in Charlotte with other people for the event Monster Madness.
I don't know what it's called. To me, what it's called is 4 cast members of Smallville and Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patric are going to be there. That's the name of the show to me. 4 members of the Smallville cast, Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patric. There you go.
I don't watch a lot of TV or
The Lost Boys. Come on.
I didn't watch a lot of that stuff back then.
The Lost Boys with Jason Patric and Kiefer Sutherland in it. Give me a break. I mean,
yeah,
and John Schneider. Come on.
I liked him back then in The Lost Boys, but I didn't like that show he did. Was it 24 or something?
Yeah. How dare you? That's a great show.
It.
But anyway, I don't want to get too far off in the weeds there. We'll talk.
And you know what? I just want to address something because I really want to talk to everybody in chat, but I got in trouble last week. Somebody put in the comments section, wow, what's wrong with your wife? She was on her phone the whole time. How rude or something. Like
so disrespectful.
It was so.
She is so disrespectful during these streams.
Yeah, to chat with you guys in chat while he's talking so I'm not interrupting him was rude. Anyways,
yeah,
he was rude, jerk.
I mean, that's, what are you going to do? You can't make everybody happy. If you're concerned that she is looking at her phone so much, it's because she's in the chat. If she wasn't doing that, then people would complain, damn, she never participates in the chat. So it's like, hey, what do you want? What do you want from us?
And I like to talk to everybody when I can, so.
Daniel, that could be either Daniel or Danielle. You never know these days. Cardosi says huge brownie points for Smallville love. In case you don't understand my quest, I am on a quest to get Michael Rosenbaum to comment on this stream. And so every single day, every week, I'm going to remind you that Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor to ever be put on film. I'm going to do that until he comments on this chat. But anyway, folks, listen. Promo code Bulletproof still active. And I haven't decided when those Sunday promo codes that we create are going to expire. I haven't set an expiration date on that. So still available. I know everybody's buying their last minute Christmas presents and in not looking to buy fish stuff. I get it. I understand. It's the calm before the storm. After Christmas is when, the fish industry starts to go like this, and that's fine. But I'm just reminding you. And we got a humongous, the biggest we've gotten in a very long time, shipment of plants today. They just came in today. Put them in the tanks. They are looking amazing.
They do.
So excited about it. And we got a plant that we have yet to carry on our website. in case you saw the little thing. I didn't realize there was a thing on there. Lisa said,
Yeah.
there's a product that's going to be showing up. I didn't realize it did that. Very cool. YouTube is doing some really cool things. Still don't understand why we can't schedule members only videos. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be rude and interrupt because that's what people like. Just kidding. Legion Aquatics asked, John and Lisa, why don't you guys do much breeding anymore? I was just thinking and realized I haven't seen you guys do much breeding since I've started watching.
Yeah,
you
it makes
guys.
sense to interrupt and answer that now instead of just doing that after I'm done with my little
Oh, but I
announcements.
just wanted to talk about the flavescent babies I've got.
Oh, that's true.
I've got flavescent babies. They're so cute. There's like 5 or 6 of them. So I kind of bred those since I take care of them. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's true. She is in the fish room a whole lot more than I am. I am tragically absent from the fish room way more than I should be. And it's a damn shame is what it is. I need to be in there more, and it just is what it is. But we don't have any specific plans to start a large breeding type thing. But you never know. We didn't a year ago. Well, I shouldn't say a year ago, 2 years ago, we didn't know we were going to be living in the state of North Carolina and have an old farmhouse that has 2 buildings. We didn't know those things. So you never know from one day to the next. If you went back 2 years, 2.5 years, if you would ever say, are you and Lisa going to be selling plants on the website? I'd been like, no, of course not.
Just the fake ones.
Yeah. And now we sell more plants than we do anything else. So you never know what tomorrow holds. I do think that this is going way off into the weeds, but it's Liquid Zoo's fault. There's going to have to be in our future another building. It's going to have to happen.
A cat rescue.
The barn has expansion possibilities, and I don't mean adding additional space to it. I mean utilizing space that's already there. Y'all haven't seen it, but there is an entire second floor of our barn. I shouldn't call it a second floor. It's an attic right now. There's no insulation on the ceiling side or the roof side. The insulation is in the floor of the attic, the ceiling of the first floor, if you follow what I'm saying. But it's a wide open, cavernous, 80-foot long, wide open space on the second floor of the barn. And it's already, like, all I'd have to do is go up there, put a subfloor down, and finish off the walls, insulate the walls and all of that. It would be a humongous project, but it could be done. So there's that. There's a gigantic room on the back of the barn that I have shown to, I think, members, but I don't think I've ever shown it publicly. Maybe I have. I don't know. It's a garbage pile right now, but there's a huge area in the back of the barn. Probably.
It's big.
I mean, it's probably the size of a 3-car garage, which would be what we started in.
It's got that. There's so much like old stuff back there, like that Singer
washing machine,
sewing machine thing. I think you use like a pedal or something. I don't know, but it's really old.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a space that has just been a collect all for trash, not garbage, but like stuff in there. So there's expansion possibilities in the barn, but I think even with that, at some point there's going to have to be a new building in our future. Whether that building is going to be on our property or maybe a couple miles down the road or something like that, I don't know. I'd always had this fantasy of possibly convincing my neighbors to maybe let me buy a small chunk, a couple acres, not anything huge. They've got 1,100. And I just found out, and I'm actually really happy for my neighbor. The neighbor directly across the street from us bought the 75 acres that is directly surrounding our property. He's 23, 24.
Yeah,
23 or
he's
24 years old.
really young, but wow, his work ethic.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. And he told me that he had done that, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. So when the day comes that I want to buy a couple acres to build my new business building, I should be coming and talking to you. And he was like, well, actually, he bought it under a program that's government sponsored that is for young farmers. And he's not able to do that. He's not allowed to do that. So if we were going to build a new building for our business, it's either going to have to be on our property, which we have the space for, or if we want to separate it, we can find, there's land everywhere.
Oh yeah. I mean,
we could
right
find a
down the
couple
road.
acres within a couple of miles of our house if we need to. Just
Not a big deal.
get a little Kubota side by side and drive over there on that. But the fantasy would be to do that and massively increase the size of everything that we have. Plant facility, beta facility, combine the two. We don't need more beta facility. 300 is enough.
It is.
But be able to combine those two and drastically expand the plant setup, and then perhaps
Be a
incorporate
free
some other things.
building.
Well, there wouldn't be a free building because I would get the barn and you would get the fish house, and you can do whatever you want with it. That's the deal. That's what we would do.
Well, it already has a catio on it.
The idea would be to get one building to house everything. So our YouTube studio fish house thing would be there. The business would be there. Everything would be in one building. And so if that were to happen, it may never happen. We may never grow out of the barn that we have now and the fish house that we have now. And that's okay. But if we did, there could be the possibility of expansion into other things, start breeding guppies or betas or Africans again. I mean, that's kind of how we started this whole thing. Who knows? And I would be an idiot if I was to say, oh no, we know exactly what we're going to be doing 2 years from now. No, I'd be a fool if I said that. So who knows what's going to happen? What we've been talking about for the last 10 minutes wouldn't have happened if she hadn't interrupted me so rudely.
Sorry.
The way she It should be up on your screen right now. The Monte Carlo, we finally got that in. I shouldn't say finally. I've always been able to get it. But I've always, when we first started carrying plants, Tropica plants, I wanted to stick only to easy Tropica plants. With the medium care level plants that Tropica carries or provides, I like to play around with them for a little while and see, okay, this is medium, but is it going to be okay? It's not like my customers are stupid. My customers know what they're doing, but I want to stay with plants that are on the easier side. And the medium plants that we have right now are a medium care level would be the alternantheras, both of those. The Pogostemon erectus we have, which is always fun to say if you're in a good mood, erectus. And now we have the Monte Carlos. And that's the Monte Carlos is one of those carpeting plants that everybody loves. So you're welcome. You're welcome, aquascapers. We brought in the Monte Carlo for you, and it is right there on the screen. Yep, there it is. Look at that. How beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And don't forget, bulletproof or snail in all caps. You can use either one of those promo codes and get 10% off right now. So there we go. I don't have anything else to talk about.
Oh, so we're done
I'm sure
already?
do. Yeah. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Well, I forgot to tell you. Oh, I hope Zen doesn't yell at me again. She used all caps the other day because she really wants the avatar, a new one for the membership.
Oh, that's a shocker that she would bring that up.
Yeah. I just thought I'd let you know.
These people that commit all their time to us for free is just, they're so demanding. Hey, listen, I think I said this last week, Zen, and I'm going to say it again. This is a 50-50 operation. Stop yelling at me. Start yelling at her.
She did. She used all caps and yelled at me.
Do you know how much time I've spent designing things lately?
Oh, yeah, you have. Big surprise coming soon. I can't wait.
I'd like to show them.
Why?
Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to show y'all what I've been working on. Because your boy has been designing shirts.
Hmm.
I don't know why I just called myself your boy. That's what they do on like radio shows and stuff like that. And I think it's funny. I think it's cute. Want to show you what I have come up with. And I got to be honest, pretty proud of these.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about Kid You Tropicals, you're talking about a couple of different things. A couple of things immediately come to mind. What are those things? Betas and Oscars,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who farted? One of these dogs.
It wasn't me, eh?
One of these dogs.
Isn't that
That's from Strange Brew.
Yeah.
What a great show. Anyway, I don't have my Strange Brew figures up, which I don't know where they are. I need to find those. So
Oh, it was probably Ike.
this is one of the first that I came up with. Look at that. Come on.
It's so cute.
I'm going to put that right over top of her. No, we'll let you look at her, and I'll put that right over top of me.
That's adorable.
So this is one. You always see me wearing black. And so this would be a white silkscreen on a black shirt. The debate that her and I have been having is to put that on the back or to put it on the front. And that's something that, perhaps we could poll the audience here today. What we thought about was to do this. Hold on. Let me just resize these. Do just the fish. So I'll make that one really small because that's how it would be on the shirt. Do
Put it
that
on my shirt,
on the front. There you go.
but little. Like right here.
There you go. So that would be on the front.
Yeah.
And then the big one with the KG Tropicals would be on the back. I think that would look really good. I'm not a humongous fan of the big giant logos on the front. I don't know why. I just look at me. This is what I wear every day. I think it's pretty clear what my style is. There's not a lot of bling in my style. And so that would fit me perfectly if the little fish was on the front and the big fish, which is the same fish, but you know what I'm saying.
But that's how we
on the
have
back.
it on the black one we have now.
Yeah.
Different fish, but yeah.
Yep, that one's a lot more basic. This is like, come on, that's a gorgeous beta right there. You got to admit.
And hoodies.
And I'd like to get hoodies too. Beta be available in medium. Yeah, of course. They'll be available in all of the sizes. But the size isn't the issue. Let's not get weird. But size of the logo is not. This is not a company logo. This is just a shirt. But whether to do it on the front or to do the small fish on the front and the big one on the back, there's a reason why this is important to talk about. For one, it's, you'd be wearing this. We would be wearing this. Are we going to be happy having the big thing on the front? But there's also cost, because if you're silk screening two sides, it costs significantly more than if you're just doing one, because they basically have to do the whole operation twice. So it's not double, but the silk screening charge is double. And so it does, run the price up a little bit. Be a great tattoo. Yeah, it would. I mean, it just looks so good. I'm so happy with that. And listen, folks, pat me on the back. This is all me. I did this.
John
I didn't draw it with my hands. I'm not going to tell you how I did it, but this is all me. I didn't pay somebody to do this. Now, let's look at the second one. And this one's fun too. You already know what it's going to be.
It doesn't have bad words.
No. This would be the second one. So you've got a beta on one and you've got the Oscar on the other. Tell me how adorable that Oscar is. He's adorable. Look at him.
He's so cute.
And then we have the little, which, whoa, big. So what I did here, you can tell, is I took the part of the fin and removed it and put the company name up there and everything, kind of making it almost halfway look like the lettering is part of the finnage. I don't know. It's goofy, but I like the way it looks. Mm-hmm. You approved it. And I love it. So again, the big one on the back with the name and the website, and then just the fish on the front, or only the big fish with the name on the front or the back. That is the question. Now let's see what people are saying, because
there's been a little bit of both, actually.
Little fish, big fish. Don't get me started on leggings. Oh, leggings.
Oh,
Rico Stan is a...
Yeah, he's got the leggings that's face.
I've seen that, yeah. Can you make a shirt with John's face on it? Come on, who would want that? Sign me up for the hoodie. Will international shipping be a thing? Maybe. Possibly.
Didn't we have that thing that was...
I canceled it completely because the quality was just a nightmare. We used to have Teespring, and the Teespring shirts were available for our friends overseas. That was exclusively why we kept it up. But I'm sorry. The quality on Teespring is just, it's terrible. The shirts are fine, but it's the silk screening itself, the way they do it, it just fades, and it's just a nightmare. So we're going to get these made ourselves. In fact, I live in rural North Carolina, folks. We do. I don't just live here myself. We both live here.
I just visit on Thursdays.
So businesses down here run a little differently than they may run in a big city. And
they work when they want.
I was referred to a place that does silk screening, and they make signs and they do all that stuff by our pet sitter and UPS lady. Said, "Oh, we will be making both, Joe." He said, "Make both." We're making both. What y'all don't know is Joe wore a similar shirt to this in his wedding. Finsanity Aquatics. That madman wore our beta shirt for his wedding. Crazy person. But anyway, yeah, we'll get both of them done. When we finalized the design, I said, "Okay, I'm going to go to the place right now." Went to the place, and there wasn't a person there. Like, it was all locked up.
It was lunchtime.
It was lunchtime. Maybe Christmas time. Maybe they just take time off. I don't know, but hopefully I can get a hold of them. I've been told they do good work. Lindsay actually used to work there.
Oh.
So, they do good work, and hopefully the price is right. The place that we used to have, listen, all the shirts that we sell on our website, we had them made. We're not like ordering them from Teespring or, you know what I'm saying? Drop shipping them to you. We have them in our warehouse, in our barn. We designed them, we got them made, and then there you go. So that's how these would be too. We'll be ordering several hundred of both the Beta and the Oscar. We'll have them in our warehouse. You order them, we'll ship them to you. So they're not made on demand. So if we run out of extra larges, we're out of extra larges. But with this place being so close, I don't know what their lead times are. We might be able to reorder easily. We did that when we did the Oscar and the Beta shirt, the bubble shirt. We reordered just once, and it was pretty reasonable getting those again. Yeah. But for this one, I don't know anything about this company other than I was told they do good work and their pricing is good and they're good people.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you get word here is people tell you, yeah, first of all, they're good people. Second of all, they do good work and their prices are good.
Yeah.
So that will be coming soon. I would have had them ordered today if those people had been at their job, but they weren't there. So
it probably was because of Christmas, but also because it was lunchtime. Because I ran into the same problem when I went to the place I went to today. And I waited for 45 minutes because there was an old-fashioned elevator.
Oh.
And I guess they lock it if they're not upstairs, like up there. It's like 6 stories, and it's like a building that was built in 1909. And so the secretary who was on the 3rd floor had locked it when she left to go to lunch. So I get in the elevator and I'm pushing 3 and it's not going anywhere. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh no, crap. So I'm like, let's make sure this door open one works. And it did. But I waited because she had been running errands.
Yeah, we won't tell people what it was that you were doing today, because then we'll be accountable.
No, I'm telling.
Oh.
I signed us up at a gym that I didn't even know that existed in this town. It's like an underground gym too. It's like secret. But it was really cool. I like it.
So we're going to have to go to the gym now. And so hopefully, maybe y'all will start to notice a difference. You won't notice a difference in her, but you'll notice a difference in me, hopefully.
Picked up some weight.
Coffee mugs, absolutely, Ben. I was planning on asking about those today too. I don't know about coffee mugs. I know you do mugs, and that's cool.
I like mugs. I love mugs.
Mugs are great, but they also break.
So I've got a bunch of them that haven't broke.
The tumblers, though, the ones that are like etched, you know what I mean? Like they have a black layer around them and they etch them. That would look really, really good. I planned to, when we were in King George and we were getting these things made, they made all that stuff. Like we could get keychains made from them. You could get anything. And they had a whole catalog of stuff that you can get. We didn't do any of that. All we did was the shirts. But we started thinking about the tumblers and maybe regular coffee mugs. And then maybe hats. If they were open today, maybe I would have been able to get an idea of what we're going to get.
I think hats would be good with an Oscar more than a Beta, because I don't know. I mean, I wear a hat sometimes, like my Nike hat or whatever. Throw my hair back in a ponytail, wear my Nike hat. But I don't know how many women do that. Men are I think more likely to wear an Oscar hat than a Beta hat. I think, but I could be wrong. But I don't know.
All right. Well, there you go. I joined Patreon of a podcast I follow because I get a quarterly mug. Wow. That's a good Patreon. That's the way people should be doing Patreon. Water bottles. Yeah. See, all of those things. I mean, I don't know. That logo to me, the logos that I just shared with you, needs to be on a black background. And so, I see a lot of people with black water bottles and black mugs and all that. So yeah, I mean, it could be done. All of this, it could be done. And if the prices are right, then that will work. We're not going to order mugs and order 27,000 of them. I mean, that's the way you get real good pricing on all of these things. We wouldn't have anywhere to put 27,000 mugs, and it would probably take us 16 years to sell 25,000 mugs. So
whoa, that's a lot of mugs.
Yeah. We would order, if we were getting mugs or tumblers, a couple dozen probably. I mean, maybe a few. I don't know. It depends on them. I mean, if the company says, oh yeah, whatever it is you need, you just order it up. We'll have it ready for you in 2 weeks. Then, okay, we'll order a couple dozen. If they're selling, order a couple dozen more, whatever. We'll just have to see how it goes. But it's all up to what they can do and what the pricing is and all of that. So I'll keep you posted on that. Excited about it. I can't wait. I wish I would have gotten some ordered today, but it just didn't work out. Boxers. What? Adult diapers with the logo? Oh my. Rico Stan, you're thinking of some weird things here, brother.
Well, you should see what his streams during the day where they they test food. I'm not going to say what, but it's yuck.
Okay. Towels, scarves, gloves, stickers. Stickers, I mean, we've done so many stickers and given them away to everybody. We've never sold a sticker. Not that there's anything wrong with selling a sticker. We've done a lot of those, and you know, we'll probably do those again. I don't know. We'll have to see. But we used to give away stickers with every single order. Everybody. So if you ordered 10 times, you would get 10 of the same sticker. But we'll see. There's sky's the limit with all of this stuff. I would just like to be able to get in the door first. I'll go over there again tomorrow and see. I won't go at noon because if they do take lunch then, but it looked like they lived next door. Like it looked like one of those things.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe they did run home.
There's
for
a
lunch.
lot of businesses like that out here though.
It is on a back road. There's no signs. You pull up to it, and there's a little like piece of paper size sign on the door that says, you know, what they are and stuff. So it is a, you know, country rural place, but you know, it might be like the tents in the beginning of Goblet of Fire. You walk in the tent and all of a sudden it's this big giant mansion. It might be like that when they open up the doors. I don't know, but hopefully y'all got that reference. And nobody got the reference of the way I opened up the stream when I said, well, that is a 9 Club thing.
What?
It's from the 9 Club, which is a skateboarding podcast. Which is why I didn't expect everybody.
Like I didn't know that.
That's why I said I was going to be impressed if anybody got that. But we got to talk about the topic.
That's funny.
If you were president, you'd be Abraham Lincoln. You daggone right.
That's so funny.
That's right.
That's hilarious.
When is Aquashella coming back to Tampa?
Tampa.
Aquashella has never been in Tampa.
It's been in Florida.
It's been in Orlando and it's been in Daytona. Next year, 2024, we will be back in Daytona.
It is windy in Daytona.
It was windy. I loved it.
That
It was
whole
great.
weekend it was windy.
We didn't get to do anything but
I remember
Aquashella.
I just had to walk like this. I was like this because I didn't want my hair going in my face. I hate that. You didn't have that problem.
No, my hair
Jason
was fine.
didn't have that problem. But yeah, me and Joanna and Carrie were all like,
That's why we just take the easy route, cut it all off.
yeah.
So the title of this stream,
Oh,
I don't
finally.
even remember what the title.
We're finally getting to that.
Is it worth the risk? Fish shipping nightmares.
No,
Now listen, folks.
I don't think it is.
I should not talk about what I'm about to talk about. Not me, not I. She's not going to stare at her phone so that guy can rudely yell at her again.
Yes, I am. I'm going to do it on purpose.
You got to participate in this talk.
Okay.
Aquashella Dallas. Yeah, there will be Dallas. It's going to be Dallas, Chicago, and Daytona in 2024.
Ooh, Chicago. I love Chicago. That's my favorite.
And it will be in Schaumburg. Anyway, listen.
Yes, I love Chicago.
There has never been a time we've shipped at this point thousands of fish. I'm not talking about betas. I don't know that we've reached the thousands mark.
Probably.
Over 1,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how many betas we've sold. We order 300 at a time, and we've received
Quite a few of those.
maybe it's way over. I don't know how many thousands.
I think so.
But we don't always have a full complement of betas in the beta house, but sometimes we do.
I like getting less. I like getting only half of that because it's easier to take care of them. And I feel like they are happier. It's just easier. I'd rather have happy fish than neglected fish. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, they're not neglected if you get
they're
300
not.
of them.
They're not neglected. They're never neglected. But it's a little less. Oh, you're so cute for each one.
Yeah, but I mean, we had thousands of African cichlids at one time when we were first breeding back in 2011, 2010, 2011, 2012. We had 127 tanks in our garage, and they were all full. I mean, there was like 29 breeder tanks. All the rest were full of either fry or, like juveniles or adult fish. I mean, thousands of fish we had in that garage, and we shipped so many of them. It's out of control how many we how many we shipped. I can tell you since 2012, we've probably, it's in the thousands. I would comfortably say we've shipped thousands. I'm not saying thousands of fish, way over thousands of fish, because back then we would ship people 12, 14, 20 fish at one time. But I'm saying way over 1,000, if not 2,500, 3,000 boxes of fish we've shipped. So we're pretty daggone experienced in this. And in the entire time that we've been doing it, we've never had what we've had in the last couple of weeks. It has never been the way as bad as it is in the last couple of weeks.
Crazy.
And I shouldn't talk about it because the title of the stream is it worth the risk? You may start to think maybe it's not worth the risk after hearing what I'm about to tell you. I'm not going to only talk about bad things, but what I'm going to be able to do here is give you the other side of the picture. You hear from your friends, you hear from your own personal experiences. You ordered fish, they got to you, they were great, or you ordered fish, they got to you, they were dead. You ordered 15 fish and one of them was dead. Whatever the stories are, you hear the success stories and the nightmares from your friends, but what you don't hear is the other side of things. The person who's actually shipping those fish. And so, we've done all of that. We've received thousands and thousands of fish, and we have shipped thousands of fish, all of that. So we're experienced on all of it, all of what's going on with shipping fish. And I've never seen it happen like it's happening now. Two years ago, we shipped fish after the election. So it wasn't 2 years ago. It was 2020, 3 years ago.
Wow.
Right after the election in November. And I mean, just the way things work out, I don't think we had ever had a presidential election while we were shipping fish. We weren't shipping fish in 2016. And so who cares? We didn't realize there was going to be this massive impact to the postal system after the election, but there was, and it was bad. But it was like packages were a day or two late, and it made us say, okay, we're never doing that again. We're never shipping fish the week after an election. Who would have even thought that an election would have an impact on shipping? That was weird. But it did. And I don't think in that 1 week, I don't think we lost any fish. I could be wrong. But they were delayed with the Postal Service priority mail. This year, oh boy, this year, I've never seen the post office be as bad as it has. And I shouldn't say the post office. Our post office is amazing.
Yeah, we have great postal workers.
The people there are fantastic. We know them all by first name. We love those people. It's not their problem. They do their job.
Yeah.
It's once the package leaves there that there's people that I have seen in this chat right now that I know went through this last week, that we shipped packages and it would go to another warehouse and sit there for 5 days.
I know.
Just sitting in one warehouse.
But when you click on it for shipping, it says it's going to be there in 2 days.
Right. It doesn't make any sense. It's like you got it from here to Raleigh, and then it sat in Raleigh for 5 days. It's like, why? I don't understand what's going on with the Postal Service. 2 weeks ago, like immediately after Black Friday, we only shipped a few fish the Monday after Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
But we did it like for people that lived
close by,
like within the state or right outside the state, like or south.
Right.
Yeah.
And we had one that got delayed, and I'm pretty sure the person that it got delayed to is in this chat right now. 7 days. It wasn't a fish. It was a fish. It was a fish. It was. I'm getting ahead of myself here. It was a fish, and I'm not going to say the name, but this customer lives in Georgia. We live in North Carolina. So it's just, 2 states away. Should be no problem 2 days. After Cyber Monday, it took till the following Monday. And that made us go, wait a minute. Wow. Like we held a lot of them back, but we still, because we looked at how much time it should take and all of that, we thought it was going to be okay.
And we definitely didn't want to send any to like
California,
Massachusetts or something, where
right.
It's cold, it's snowing, and
yeah, I mean, there were certain areas where it's like, no, that's not going to work. We'll wait till the following week, which was a big mistake. But and I'm not necessarily worried about temperature as much as it is just the backlog of the Postal Service. So anyway, the week after Black Friday was trifling. I mean, it was a disaster. It was horrible. But I think we had one fish not survive, and we shipped maybe 10 fish, and they were all to like Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, very close. And we had one that didn't make it, but this one that went, and here's the funny thing. I just saw somebody mention UPS. We use both. If the customer is willing to pay the extra for the next day air, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but I don't want to use UPS ground for shipping fish unless the customer lives in the state of North Carolina, because then it's almost guaranteed next day. Mm-hmm. But if a customer is in Colorado, well, I shouldn't say Colorado because Colorado's trifling too. They charge all these taxes and stuff. Let's say Iowa. How about Iowa? If they want to pay the extra for next day air shipping, it's there. It's ready for them. And as a matter of fact, right now, that's the only option you've got because of what's going on here. There was one customer, or no, what I was getting at was the one that we had the DOA, that was from UPS. And I'm going to talk about why I think that is an issue with UPS in a minute. But there was the customer in Georgia we shipped a fish. She was emailing because this is a customer that's ordered from us over 50 times. One of our most frequent customers.
And she's just awesome.
And we met her in person. She gave you a gift. She's an amazing human being. Not just because she's
like, we could be best friends. Sorry, Zen.
And she is awesome. She really is. In person, she was a hoot. But I got to be honest, by the weekend, when it hadn't shown up, when the fish had not shown up to this customer, I was getting a little nervous. I mean, if it's been 3, 4, 5 days, I'm always the one emailing people saying, hey, listen, don't panic. We should be fine. Betas ship super, super well. You live in Louisiana and, it's warm down there. We should be fine. And then the fish gets there on Friday and everything's fine. But this one, the fish did not get delivered until the following Monday. So 7 days, fish showed up and it was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Not a problem at all. My dogs are arguing about dinner. Hey. That same customer ordered some snails. And snails, I swear, they're the easiest thing in the world to ship.
We never once had an issue with snails.
Nope.
ever until what, the past week?
Yep. And
My
it
God.
it's
and it
been
makes me so
because
sad because I bred those myself.
it's because of what's been going on here. The week after Black Friday was frustrating, and it made me pull my hair out, which has to be from my face. But we made it through relatively unscathed. I mean, we had that one DOA. That sucks. It hurts our feelings. It breaks our heart. Send a perfectly healthy fish, and it doesn't make it. You never get used to that. And then there's this week. Well, last week. 2 weeks after Black Friday. We felt, and the people at the post office told us, things are settling down. It's still a mad rush because, there's Christmas holiday shopping and, the Amazon and all of that. I live in a rural area, so a lot of our postal carriers deliver Amazon. When you think of Amazon, you automatically think of either UPS or the Amazon delivery drivers, which I believe I heard is now larger than UPS itself, the fleet of actual Amazon owned drivers. I could be wrong though. I thought I heard that. But here it's the postal service that delivers most of the Amazon packages. And it's kind of funny. If you've never been in a rural area, it's people driving around in their own cars. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they're sitting in the passenger seat, leaning over, steering. It's funny. I don't know how these people do it, but one of the guys that comes here all the time is in a Caprice, like an old police car, and he sits in the middle of the seat and he drives with his left hand, and it's wild. I don't know how they do it, but they're the ones that are dropping off Amazon. So there is they're loaded right now because of all of the Christmas shopping, which you've certainly been guilty of too. Yep. Everybody's doing that.
FedEx hates me.
FedEx comes here almost every day.
Well, because of my PetSmart.
And because they're so heavy.
Yeah, like kitty litter and.
Not to mention all of the Amazon deliveries from your Amazon wish list, which a lot of those are heavy cat food and cat litter. Thank you all for that.
Yes, thank you. It's so fun to get it because it's sweet.
You'll have to give an update on because you had to go to the vet yesterday.
I have
a
sick kitten.
It's all good though. Don't worry about it. Not life threatening. So this week and last week, I'm sorry, I'm getting all confused. Was 10 times worse than the prior week, the week immediately following Black Friday. So Cyber Monday, that week that followed, was an easier time than the week after that. I swear we didn't have one plant, snail, or fish order delivered on time. We shipped like 4 fish on Monday.
Yeah, because we held so many back.
Yeah. I mean, there was it's like, listen, we're not doing this. Customers might get mad at us. We've had a couple cancel their orders, which I understand.
I would too if it was a Christmas gift, but you got to kind of
do what's best for the fish.
Yeah, you have to do what's right for the fish.
And I put a notice up on the website, listen, we're going to have to hold shipping fish until after the first of the year. I hate to do it, but we have to do that. I mean, because we're not going to send fish out to their death the way the Postal Service is right now. Now, UPS, because we're only doing next day air shipping, that'll help. But for the ones who have already paid for priority mail, those are going to have to get held until after New Year's. I feel horrible about it, but I feel better for the fish because the Postal Service, I'm sorry, I'm going to say a bad word. They just can't get their shit together right now. It is a absolute S show. I'm not going to say it twice because YouTube would yell at me. What they're doing right now is just unthinkable. I've never seen anything like it. And the worst part about it, it's just like if you have a problem at the DMV. You have a problem with something at the DMV and you go to the DMV to talk to them about that problem. Not one person in that building cares at all about your problem that you have with the DMV. The Postal Service is the same way. Again, I'm not talking about the people at the post office. I'm talking about the people that are bringing it from North Carolina to Nevada and all of that. They don't care. You call them up. I get emails twice a day. Can I call somebody? Is there somebody, not me, but the customer would say, is there somebody that the customer could call? And I'm like, listen, you can, but the problem is they're only going to have access to exactly what you have access to. They're going to pull up the same tracking information that you already have. They're going to look at it and it's going to say in transit, and that's what they're going to tell you. It's in transit. You're going to waste your time calling them. But if you want, you can. I always like to tell people, if I could call like I'm some kind of big shot and say, hey, do you know who I am? I'm the KG Tropicals guy. You should send my stuff faster. They're not going to care. They don't care.
They don't care.
I understand it. I'm not saying that the people that work at the Postal Service are bad people. They're not. You have to understand, these people are on the phone hearing this all day. And at some point, it just becomes bop, 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 bop in your ear, and they don't care. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't either. When you can pick up the phone as a customer service representative and you know what the person's going to say before they even speak, you start to not care. And so who can you be mad at? You can't pick a fight with anybody. You can't be a Karen and can I speak to your manager? Manager ain't going to have nothing to tell you. They're going to say, it's on the way. If you didn't want this kind of a risk, you shouldn't have shipped a live animal. I mean, they don't care. And when it's a catastrophe like it is right now, it's so much worse. And fortunately, and I know Dustin did it, Flip did it, we've done it now. A lot of us right now are having to say, hey, listen, they can't fulfill their end of the bargain right now. We're going to have to hold on to these living things for a couple of weeks to let them get their act together, and then we can ship this stuff out to you. Plants are not nearly as bad. Plants ship really, really well, particularly, I happen to think I pack plants really well. It is extraordinarily rare that we have any issues with plants. Snails, normally,
oh my
no
gosh,
problem.
I know. We had ram's horn snails at a time. It took 11 days. They ended up going out. Wait, or did they come back?
Yeah. So what happened there was, that was not that week. That was like 2 weeks before then. A customer had committed a very, very minor mistake on the address. You know how when you put in your address on everything now, our website does it, everything does it now. It kind of fills your address in for you. I always tell people you have to verify it because it might put the wrong zip code, but whatever. There was some kind of a very minor mistake when this customer inputted her address. And she didn't know that until the package was not delivered. And the tracking information said undeliverable, and we're shipping it back to the shipper, which would be me. And the thing that just eats me up about it is and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody, but if the postal carrier person, if the mailman had a brain, he would have been able to look at it and say, oh, I know what this is. I'm going to tell you what it is. Your address is 1234 Elm Street. Okay. 1234 Elm Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 12345 is the zip code. I'm making this up. What the customer did was in the address box, put 123. And then in the second address box, which was typically where you would put your apartment number, that's where this customer put Elm Street. And then the Raleigh, blah, blah, blah. This customer lived in like Idaho. I mean, it was not Raleigh, North Carolina, but you know what I'm saying. The second address bar is where the street name was put. It's as simple as that. If the carrier looked at it, said 123 Oh, there it is. Elm Street. Okay, that house is right there. No brainer. But instead, nope, we're going to ship this back. So 2 days to get there, 2 days for the Postal Service to juggle it around for a little bit and then send it back to us, which meant it got stuck over the weekend. And then wasn't there a holiday? Wasn't there a holiday after?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. It took 11 days before it got back to us. And every single snail was completely fine.
The snails are fine.
Like it never even happened. And so that's why we shipped snails last week, because it's like, we've never had a problem with snails. We don't even have a concern about snails. We're not going to let the box freeze because we're going to put a heat pack in there. They're insulated well. It's going to be fine.
And I pack them with little plants. You
do? She steals plants from our plant room, but anyway.
I want them to be happy while they're packed up.
Sometimes we have plants that I'm like, I'm not going to ship that. It goes down into a bottom tank, and she pulls from that to put in into the snail bags. So anyway, we didn't think it was going to be an issue at all. But that customer I told you about earlier that had, we shipped her fish on a Monday. She didn't get it until the following Monday, and the fish was completely fine. That same customer ordered snails. Oh, yeah. Same thing. We shipped them on Monday. Didn't get delivered to her until yesterday, but I'm talking about last Monday we shipped them. She opened them up yesterday, and they were no longer alive. But it took, how many days is that? 10 days for them to get this package delivered. So, I have to take responsibility for a lot of these. I mean, we have to, because we shouldn't have shipped them. I mean, I'm not going to call the post office every day. Hey, how y'all doing? If we ship today, are they going to be okay? They're not going to know. They're going to be like, get off the phone. I got stuff to do. I mean, so how do you know? I mean, we didn't know it was going to be nearly that bad. Again, if snails or even fish or plants are no-brainer. If they're going to be a day or two late, I'm not going to hit the panic button. I'm not going to freak out over that. I have to talk customers off the ledge all the time, because I'm like, look, we've had way worse scenarios than this. In fact, I will tell you the worst case scenario that we ever had. And this was when we had our fish store and we were shipping large fish. This particular customer had bought like 5-inch male. One of them was a Venustus. I don't remember what the other ones were, but there was like 4 large haps and a 10-inch Royal Pleco, which this dummy shipped. A 10-inch Royal Pleco. It was a beautiful Royal Pleco.
I do remember that.
It was a giant, and it was so green, and it was absolutely beautiful, this Royal. And I had shipped plecos, large plecos before, not a problem. If you've ever touched a pleco, and I'm not talking about little ones, I'm talking about the bigs, the vampires, the royals, the big dogs. They feel like little knives. And I really took the time. I might have even put, in fact, I know for sure I did. We had some leftover bag liners that Hans uses to ship discus. It's a layer between the bags. It makes the bags black, so you can't see what's inside of it. But it's like a thick, really rigid liner. Right. So you take the fish bag, you put the fish in there, you tie it up, you put this liner over top of it, you close that off, and then you put another bag over top of that. So it's like a really solid, really secure thing.
And those bags are thick.
Yeah. And they're very expensive. So I thought everything was going to be okay. And guess what? It absolutely was. The Pleco bag didn't break, but the Venustus bag did. And again, this is 10 years ago that this happened. In the middle of winter, customer ordered next day air from UPS. So like when we were shipping UPS and we did FedEx for a little while, I never worried about anything because they're going to get there the next day. Even if it's in the middle of winter, it's not going to be a problem. This was a big box with 5 giant bags in it. I did everything I could to secure this thing. Well, somehow, for some reason, with UPS, that box got lost. And this was in the middle of winter. And this guy lived in North Texas. When you think Texas, if you're like me, you automatically think, oh, well, it's hot down there. It's not. Not everywhere in Texas.
Well, Zen said it is.
I don't know where the line is, but there's like a line. Like, I mean, it snowed in Dallas a couple of years ago. I mean, some parts of Texas, I'm not saying it gets cold like it does in North Dakota, but it gets pretty cold down there. This customer was in northern Texas, which, you know, I'm sure it doesn't get ridiculously cold, but cold enough, probably like it does here. I don't know what happened to the box, but it was just gone. Nobody knew where it was. UPS didn't know where it was. And no, it was FedEx. I remember specifically it was FedEx. And this was one of the reasons why we stopped using them. I don't have a problem with FedEx. It was just that one. 11 days it took that package to get to that customer. And I remember the feeling I had, because I had basically thought, all right, that's a loss. You know, it was like a $80 Pleco and all of these big, you know, $60 and $70 Plecos, or not Plecos, but Africans. Like, this is going to be a big loss. This is going to hurt because these are gone. And I remember getting the email from that customer. What I was expecting was that it was going to be shipped back to us. It wasn't. It ended up getting to him. And it was after 11 days. And he opened up that box, emailed me, and said, guess what? All of them made it perfectly fine. There was the Venustus bag, and this is wild. I mean, I don't know how this happened. You know, divine intervention might be a real thing. The Venustus bag had popped, and we're talking about a Venustus. We're not talking about a little baby. We're talking about a Venustus, a big guy, a Vinny.
Yeah, we had a Vinny.
And the bag had popped. Water was everywhere, and there was just enough water in the bag to keep the fish wet from drying out. So it was like sprinkling water on the fish. The fish was not submerged in water. There was just enough water for that fish to not dry out. And even that fish survived. Middle of winter, which means the heat packs, you know, after 2 days, heat packs are gone. They're no longer a thing. And they all made it. And that has been our success story that we have told for so long. Like, hey, listen, if that can go well and the fish survive, any of them can. But for every story like that, you have the ones where you do everything right. You ship the fish off. You ship them next day air. It's in it's in May. So the weather is nice. It's not crazy hot yet. It's not cold. It's perfect weather. Everybody's favorite time of year, unless you live in California and the weather's like that year round. Southern California. Overnight shipping gets delivered to the customer. They get it at 9:30 in the morning. It's like the perfect fish shipment. And they open up the box and the fish is dead. I mean, things happen. Crazy things happen either way around. But I would say, even in this fiasco that we've had over the last few weeks, more have survived than didn't. How many? I think we've lost in the last 3 weeks. I think we've lost 3 fish, and one of them was 2 fish in one shipment. So 2 shipments and 3. And we've sent quite a few, not as many as we normally would. And again, as a businessman, it's foolish of me to tell you this, but I like to be completely transparent. I like to tell everybody everything that's going on. And the main reason why, if I've done something wrong, I will absolutely take responsibility for it. Her, not as much, but I just like to take a stab at you whenever I can.
I don't do anything wrong. What are you talking about?
That's true. She never makes a mistake. If I do something and if I make a mistake, I will absolutely own up to it. It actually makes me feel better about the scenario if I own up to it. I have to admit on these that I did make a mistake, and that is shipping them to begin with during this chaos. Yeah. I didn't realize there was the chaos, but still, I should have been able to know just simply because I wanted to know. I should have known that it was going to be backed up and it wasn't going to work. I don't know how I was supposed to know, but
I told you that we needed to change everything to UPS next day.
We have. I did.
I told you that 3 weeks ago.
Anyway. But when it comes to packing the fish, her and I tag team packing the fish. She puts them in the bags. She does a perfect job. The water is perfect. You put a little piece of catappa leaf in there. Like these fish are, they're pampered before they're shipped. We fast them so that they're not pooping in the bag like crazy. We do everything, I believe, we do everything right. Put them in the bag. We take the bag, we wrap it up. We put it in an insulated box. We put the heat pack in there. We ignite the heat pack, I guess you could call it, which is just basically opening it up and wait until it feels warm before you close it up, because we have had situations before where the customer receives the fish and they're like, hey, fish is fine, but I think you ought to know there was no heat coming off of that heat pack. Sometimes the heat packs fail, whatever. So we like to make sure that they're warm before we close up the box. On our end, we've done what we believe everything is right. And if the Postal Service had done their job, it should have been fine. Even if it's 2 days in the middle of winter, they're keeping them in climate controlled warehouses. They're not sitting out on a tarmac somewhere like UPS does, or sitting in the trucks that are, thin metal boxes all night long in the middle of winter. UPS does that. The Postal Service does not. Even in that situation, they should be completely fine. And we hand them off and we're like, well, we've done our part. And if they don't do their part, it's the worst. Because once we hand it off, we've done everything right. We no longer have control. We have no control over the situation. We did a club meeting at our shop when we had our fish store. And I don't know how many people there were, maybe 40 people there. They had asked me to do a talk about our business and how we do things and why we do things the way they do.
I remember that. That was so much fun.
Yeah, you got to stand there and watch. I had to do the whole thing, but no, it was fun.
It was fun.
It was a good time.
Everybody came there and we got to talk about fish.
And the talk had gone a little bit long. I know how shocking that is. And the organizer of the meeting was like, okay, we have time for John to take one question. Does anybody have a question? A guy asked, what is the most frustrating thing about your business? And I said, it's taking a box and handing it over to a service and relinquishing control.
Losing control, yeah.
I no longer have control over what's going to happen to this box. That is the most difficult thing. And to this day, it still is. 99% of the time, it's completely fine. I mean, again, we have it happen where it's the middle of September and customer emails, it's Wednesday. My fish was supposed to be delivered today. And now it says it's not coming until tomorrow. And they're panicking. And I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And it is. 99% of the time. But then sometimes you run into these scenarios like we've run into in the last few weeks. You can't see it coming. I mean, sure, it's the busy season, but UPS, every truck has 2 drivers or 2 people in them now. Like, they prepare for this. They know that this is coming. And so we still feel like it's going to be fine. And in years past, it has. That election year was a little bit of a struggle, but we didn't lose any fish. They got delayed, but we didn't lose any fish. You can't see the Postal Service is just going to go, screw it. Which is basically what they've done over the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's like, screw it. What can we do? We can't handle this. So we'll just let a box that's clearly marked live fish, we'll just let it sit in that warehouse for 5 days before we even put it on a truck to take somewhere. It's so dumb. I don't know why they do that. Somebody had said UPS. I will say, if I have a package in my hand and I'm going to hand it off to either the Postal Service or UPS, which one do I have more faith in is going to get it to the customer in the amount of time that they say? It's UPS 100 times.
Oh yeah, because we know Katie works there.
Sure, but we also, just from experience, we've sent thousands and thousands of packages through UPS. And when they say they're going to get there, they're going to get there. It's very rare. Like if a customer emails and says, my package isn't here, and it's a UPS one, I'm like, huh? Like you don't expect that. So I believe in UPS. I think they're very good. They are very reliable. I think they beat up the boxes a little more than they should, but if you pack them right, that's not going to be an issue. But the biggest problem that I have with UPS is the middle of winter, which is why we only offer next day air, or next day air saver, which is, if you don't know the difference between the two, if you order next day air from UPS, it's a separate driver that's going to be bringing it to you, not your normal UPS guy that usually comes to your house, or UPS girl, whoever comes. It's going to be a separate driver that is going to have that package to you before 10:30 a.m. That's like the next day, or the air drivers. I guess.
Yeah. Like when I get my betas.
Yeah, and when we get packages from Tropica, they're sent FedEx because it's international shipping, and it's a different. We had 2 deliveries from FedEx today. One was regular ground, and the other was for the next day from Tropica. UPS, same thing. So next day air will be the special driver that'll show up to you before 10:30. If you order next day air saver, it's going to be your normal UPS driver. We'll have it on his truck, and we'll get it to you when your normal UPS deliveries come to you. And it's significantly cheaper to get UPS air saver. Depends on where you are. I mean, if you're all the way across the country, if you're in Oregon, it's probably a $20 difference between next day air and next day air saver. So always look at that. But even with those shipments, they still have more exposure to temperatures, not elements, but temperatures than they would if they were with the Postal Service. Mm-hmm. Postal Service has, the heated warehouses and the cooled warehouses and stuff like that, where UPS don't. But the biggest problem is the Postal Service priority mail, usually very reliable. The last few weeks, no. But usually, like, we ship 300 packages a week. If I get 3 or 4 that are delayed with priority mail, that's fine. I mean, and now let me just say, we ship fish priority mail, but sometimes we ship dry goods priority mail too. You order a filter, that'll be priority mail. It's basically going to be whatever's the cheaper and the faster of the two. Sometimes they offer the ground advantage now, which is like the new version of first class. And sometimes the ground advantage will be 5 days, and priority will be 2 days and cost like 9 cents more. So I'll do priority there. But UPS, their ground shipping is a lot slower than the Postal Service. I don't know why. Their network is smaller. I don't know what it is. Maybe Katie can tell us why that is. But it's a lot slower, more reliable, but it's a lot slower. I'm not going to ship a fish 5 days, intentionally. So we use priority mail. It's a very reasonable fee. If you go to second day air from UPS, it's a huge jump in price. And I don't want fish sitting on a tarmac for 48 hours, exposed to the temperatures like they would be there. I hope I'm making sense with all of this. UPS is much more reliable, but they're not going to be fast enough to get more affordable shipping for fish. So when the weather is 40 and up, we offer priority mail, which is like $17. Sometimes it's even cheaper than that. The fish will get to you in 2 days. If there's a delay, it's not that, the fish is going to be fine unless it's, 11 days. And it's a very easy way to do it. Plants, no problem. Not an issue. Summers are actually more of a challenge with plants than winters, because the water can get quite cold and it doesn't really, the plants are going to be fine. If they're in that forever, then you wouldn't want that. But as long as the water doesn't freeze, the plants are going to be completely fine. But if that package gets 180 degrees, forget it. You're going to be opening up a box full of sludge. So that's the bigger challenge. But we use cool packs for that and everything else. But anyway, I'm going in circles now. I've said the same things multiple times.
It's funny. Read Paul's comment because he used to work for UPS.
That's perfect. Yeah. UPS drivers, I don't know how they do it. And I'm going to say something really mean.
Oh. Uh-oh.
I could be wrong, but I think FedEx also has very good climate controlled vehicles. And here's why I think that.
Well, they have like that one guy brings it in the van and.
Well, yeah, he's the our overnight priority guy.
Yeah.
Same guy every week or every time we get a shipment from Tropica. Yeah.
What? Well, don't be mean.
I don't. I rarely see overweight UPS drivers. I mean, they're always in shape, and you see them. They're always running. I mean, like these guys are maniacs. And girls.
Yeah.
The people that are UPS drivers are always in really good shape. FedEx.
Well, the one FedEx.
Not so much.
No, the one for Tropica, he's not.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I've seen some FedEx drivers now.
Jeez.
So I think they have climate control really good in their vehicles. But anyway.
It's called sauna, in the summer. They get.
I mean, if you remember Shrek was like a diesel. I mean, he was in shape. And our guy here, Chris, he's in shape. Like UPS drivers, they wear those browns well. But the purple and blacks, the purple and black uniforms are, I've seen a lot of really big ones. And listen, I'm a big guy myself. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying that they do things a little differently over there at FedEx than they do UPS. But FedEx, I think my feelings of FedEx is the same that I have for UPS as far as reliability and stuff like that. They're a little pricier than UPS.
That's all that, isn't that all that Hans used was FedEx?
Yes. And that's because he lived so close to one of their
Well,
pubs.
then.
FedEx Group isn't actual FedEx drivers. They're contractors. Oh, all right. Well, anyway, we see our FedEx guy all the time and our UPS guy. It's every day. At least one of them is coming here. So I'm big fans of both of those companies. And I'm a big fan of the Postal Service most of the time. Our delivery person that comes here, actually, we get multiple people that come here. Sometimes they come twice a day. It's weird. Living in a rural area, you never really know who your postal person is going to be, because we get men, women. They're delightful to work with, and the people at our local post office, amazing.
I love them.
We've dealt with some doozies. Let me tell you something.
Oh, that one post office in King George, the main post office, not the one in Dahlgren. Whew, you were bothering her if you had to.
It was a struggle.
Go
there.
ask for a stamp. She was put out.
Yeah. Well, there was like 4 post offices, a couple of little micro post offices in King George. But ground is contractors. Okay. I kind of thought that, but anyway, the one we went to that was 2 blocks from our house, they were amazing. But the other one, yeah, I avoided that one at all costs. You walk in that one and it was like, is that Jack and Jill?
Jack and Jill are watching us.
That's
Thanks,
funny.
Miranda Lee.
You're asking for it if you go into that post office there. But anyway, overall, it's one of the most frustrating things I deal with in my life is dealing with these shipping companies. But it almost always works out okay. Should you be scared ordering fish from us, from anybody? No. I mean, if you're going to order a fish from somebody who just started their business 4 days ago and has never shipped a fish, they haven't figured out their process yet. And I don't know. But then, there's Dan that used to work for a major fish retailer. He started his business. He knew exactly what he was doing. You just don't know. But when you can go on people's websites, read the reviews, and they've obviously shipped lots and lots and lots of fish. They have their process. They know what they're doing. It's pretty much whether or not the Postal Service or UPS is going to do the right thing. It's not something to worry about anymore. Plus, the fish had to get shipped to your fish store, folks. It's not like it's the first time they've ever been fished. They've ever been shipped before. Shipping fish has always been a thing. It's always going to be a thing. Don't worry about it. Just don't do it between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And if you are someone who has purchased a fish from us, if you have not been emailed by me yet, I've failed at my job because I've tried to email everybody that has ordered a fish. And there's dozens right now that are waiting. I'm sorry, but we are going to have to hold on to your fish until this nonsense calms down. Yep. Because I don't feel like sending fish to their death anymore. It's not even the money thing. It's like, that's just part of the deal. You've got to credit the fish back. That's all part of it. It's not, that doesn't bother me. It's the fact that we have a perfectly healthy, good fish. You put them in the bag and we send them to their death. That bothers me more than anything else. So we're going to wait until things calm down. And let me say this. If you are a customer who has ordered a fish from us and you're waiting for us to ship it, and you used priority mail, if you want to upgrade to Next Day Air or Next Day Air Saver, we can absolutely do that. Just email me and I will calculate the difference in cost and I can invoice you for the difference. If it's only a couple dollars, I'm not even going to worry about it. But if it's, if you paid $17 for shipping and it's $38.99 for Next Day Air, we're going to have to send you an invoice for that one. But we can do that and we can get it to you faster. But otherwise, we're going to have to do the right thing and hold on to them until this nonsense calms down. So there you go. It's 9:25. You've said 9 words. Yeah.
I've been in chat being rude,
Right.
Yeah. Been in chat being rude.
Well, you need to talk about something. I'm sick of hearing my voice.
Well, I do know that Ed is streaming after us at 9:30. I think he was streaming sooner. I think he might have been streaming sooner, but now he is streaming at 9:30. So in case Zen wanted to put the link in there. Are you okay? Say, I'm okay.
I swallowed wrong. I knew it.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
You know what? I just realized I got so off track. I missed these. I'm sorry. You do them?
Wait, from the very beginning? Oh, I can't see. Finsanity, that's Joe. Just picked up 60-gallon breeder. Very, very close to taking the saltwater plunge. Have a spare Echo 300. Is that okay for fish and rock only? Do I need a skimmer?
Yeah, you answer that one.
Yeah. I don't even have a saltwater tank.
I love the Space Echo. I probably would not use that in a saltwater situation. I would, with a 60-gallon, I'd probably just go with a Tidal. It doesn't have a protein skimmer on it, but it's got a skimmer on it, which will, help keep that surface agitation going. And yeah, they work perfectly fine for saltwater tanks. Do you need a skimmer? I have one, but it's because it was given to me and it's great.
And it works.
But do you need it? I don't have enough experience with saltwater to tell you that or not. What I can tell you though is when I clean out my skimmer, it is funky. So that funk would be in the tank if it wasn't for that skimmer.
So it's probably a good idea to have one.
Absolutely, it's a good idea to have them. Do you have to have one though? I don't know. I don't know for certain. And Joe's probably not even here anymore. Sorry, Joe, for that. Maybe you're watching on replay. One of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Evan Rifkin. Shipping fish makes me nervous only when it's a fish that can't be replaced, like rare or conservation species that only a few people breed.
That's true.
That's a good point. I mean, I personally, right now, would definitely worry about that. But if the conditions are right, I mean, it works out perfectly way more than it doesn't work. So, but I completely understand. It's like, that you are taking a risk every single time. But you're taking a risk every time you go drive somewhere too. So
Paul Sotero asked, are you going to the AGA next April? Yes, we plan on going to that.
It's our local club hosting it. So
yeah, well, it's Paul's too.
Oh, well, yeah. No, forgot about that.
I haven't been to the last few meetings. Life, it's like everything keeps happening, and it's like I haven't been able to go to a meeting, but I do plan on starting back after the new year going, because I really wanted to go to the Christmas club one.
Like she said, life.
Everybody wants to have babies. Like this year, 2 grandbabies. It's like, slow down. Next year, they need to remember how that happens and not do that next year, because no babies next year. I need a break. 4 grandbabies right now. That's good.
Yeah. Tell a couple in their 20s not to do the things that make babies. Sure, that'll work out for you.
Give me a year off. That's all.
Outback Mini Models became a member tonight. Welcome to the team. I like that name very much. Must be an Aussie. Leo 209 Aquatics. Hey, what about California? I want my orders. Leo, we're not holding on to an order for you, are we?
I don't think so.
I'm on the same. We don't have an order for Leo right now that hasn't been shipped. Let me check on you here, Leo. I don't see it. I don't see one, Leo. So you may be asking about an order that was shipped last week that you just haven't received yet, but it's on its way. And then he followed that up by saying, P.S. Lisa has the best betas out there.
Thank you.
She does. They're awesome.
Thank you.
And there are plenty that are on the website right now. You've been putting them up like crazy. Just understand that from now until probably March. Do we go March or April?
I know definitely through March. Oh, the next day, yeah. Yeah,
it's only going to be next day air. So,
and I haven't updated like snails or anything. I have inventory. I don't want to put stuff up and then have to not ship it. Like, I don't want to do that to people. So definitely, if you're interested in snails and fish and stuff, check back right after Christmas, because at least if we're at that stage where it's only a week, I don't feel as bad,
But like I did say, we just got a huge plant order in today.
Oh,
So
yeah.
buy
Oh,
the
yeah,
plants because, we got a mortgage to pay. But anyway, this has been a lot of fun. I want to take this opportunity before I hand things over to you to say goodbye to everybody, to remind everyone of my quest. I'm letting you all know every single week that Michael Rosenbaum is the best Lex Luthor that's ever been put on film. And
you might meet him in February.
I might meet him in February. And Tom Welling, and John Schneider, and John Glover, and Kiefer Sutherland, and Jason Patrick. We'll have to see. But I still want him to comment on this. And if he doesn't, I'm going to yell at him when we go see him in February.
Oh, you shouldn't do that.
He's not going to like me very much.
Security.
So I'm going to keep doing that until he comments on this live stream. But anyway, folks, hand it over to this beautiful woman here to say goodbye to everybody.
Bye. Just kidding. Thanks for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. And probably next Thursday, I won't be here for sure because that baby's due on Christmas. But they were trying to move it up a little bit, I think. So there wasn't a baby born on Christmas because of, the kids. They wanted to be home with the kids for Christmas. Anyway, so... next week, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be here because I will be watching the grandkids while the new baby is being born. And it'll just be John. And he'll do a really good job. I know it.
Practically by myself today.
Practically. You're so funny. Anyways, but it's been fun. Go see Ed and have a wonderful weekend. And he'll see you next week. Bye.